I'm afraid to speak English. People will laugh at me. What if I start a conversation with my teacher, even with another speaker, and I suddenly forget words? What if I just cannot support a conversation like I won't be able to use my English? I have so many fears. What should I do? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back with me, Saila Salsabila. Today I'm going to deliver my speech about these questions that arise in your head whenever you are confronted with a situation to speak in English. I just want to say, first of all, I'm pretty sure that you have heard that many times, it is just all in your head, but I know we need to kind of dig deeper and talk about your fears, because I know I had these fears, I get very nervous when I know I make mistake, when I know I forget words, when I know everything like this happens and my face turns red. My Indonesian is a lot better, if I'm in an environment just talking to friends or just talking to someone at a school, it was really smooth language. But when I start thinking oh my god, this is the reason I lose my heart when I see my friends or my teacher in this department talks English smoothly. But also have them in English. But with English, I understood that English, it is a tool. It is an instrument that I use to improve my life. Because without it, I won't be able to be a champion in an English speech contest, and I won't be able to be an English student in this department such right now. Ladies and gentlemen, so I will start with fear number 1, that people will laugh at me. So the only time I have been laughed at in terms of my English is when laughed in real life, I get mocked when I asked by my teacher to speak in English in front of class, and I spoke with very strong nervousness. There was my friends who are ignoring me and laughing at me because they didn't understand what I said. But also understand it is actually good to have that feedback, because my teacher told me, "Oh Saila, that was wrong. That phrase wasn't correct." But my teacher didn't laugh at me. My teachers just told me how to improve, and I accept that with gratitude. But the only time I have been loved also actually happened when I talking with my friends. So I'm just told by using phrasal verb, and I'm just translating my Indonesian into English, and I say my body is not delicious. And delicious in English is like when I talking about food. And again, my friends laugh at me. But I thought that was funny. Oh Saila, do you know that delicious word in English is you are talking about food, but not your body. So it is not like they are angry at me for making that mistake. It is just, a friendly advice. So I have never ever had people in real life say, "Oh my god, your English is so bad, what are you doing here?" Never ever happened in my life. So I'm just keep practicing to improve my English. If you have this fear in English, people would laugh at you, you probably have it in the same other aspects of your life. So it is just another reason for you to sit down with yourself and think about I don't have to be liked by everyone. Because again, I'm a person who has this feeling all the time that I want to be liked by everyone. I want it. I'm fighting this I'm fighting to achieve my champion. Just realize that my goal is to use my talents and do the best that I can. What other people think about me, it is other people's business. They have their own understanding of reality. They have their own experience. Maybe they just have a bad day. The majority of people won't laugh at you. And if they will, it is their problem. It is not your problem. So just do your best and keep practicing for your English. The next fear is that what if I feel shy? What if I stop and freeze? Okay, this can happen as well if you're too nervous about the conversation. The trick that helps me a lot is you are someone else. Because again, stopping and freezing has to do something with what is going on with you internally. Maybe you are thinking that people will laugh at you, and just there's so many thoughts on your head and you just cannot process them. So imagine you are a different person. If you're speaking with a native, you're probably in a new country, you're probably in a new area, nobody knows you. And once this conversation is over, you will part way with this person. So it is helps your fears go and helps you to more confident when you speak. Ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap up this speech with a couple of tips. If you have an important conversation English coming up, maybe you have an interview with a university, the worst mistake that you can do is actually overthink. It makes sense to prepare, it makes sense to go through the questions that were asked before in this kind of environment, like go through the questions that university asked during the interview and go through the questions that people are normally asked. Just take your time to prepare for 2 hours, but don't take too long. Because when it takes too long, when it takes days, we over prepared for the interview and instead of relaxing before. We were just brainstorming how we are gonna find that achievement that is trying to do the same thing and people there didn't know about. But don't overthink. They probably ask some basic questions, but when they ask some complicated questions, it is almost impossible to predict what they are going to ask. So learn some basic things, but then let yourself relax. Just put yourself into that environment before the conversation so your brain will be switches from your language into English, so it will be more easier. The next tip is be nervous and do it anyways. Michael John once said, being nervous isn't bad. It means just something important is happening. So my teacher gave me a chance to improve my speaking in English by asking me to introduce myself in front of class, and my teacher said, don't be afraid of your emotions. Don't suppress them. Just tell yourself, okay, I'm nervous about that speaking, but I'm gonna have an English. It is fine. I understood that I'm nervous because it is important speaking. I understand that my English is maybe not good enough. I understand that I haven't practiced a lot, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna use this speaking as practice. And after I speak, I'm gonna sit down and think about what was good and what was bad. So it is helps a lot with my progression. And the last tip is adopt the growth mindset, like I'm bad at speaking English. My accent's not good enough yet. But I'm using this as my way to improve. And I'm using this exact conversation as my way to practice. Also learn to laugh at yourself. You know, life is simple. We overcomplicate so many things. We tend to think about like this meeting is game changer. It is not. You can always do another meeting. There are so many people in the world, so many opportunities. And if you don't get any result from the upcoming conversation, doesn't matter. You can do a lot more conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, so far, let me conclude this speech by giving some quotations. So, you have yourself, you have your time, you have your brain that helps you to speak English. Like, don't create problems for yourself. Enjoy life. We have only one life, and I want you to go ahead and enjoy it and look at everything from positive perspective, especially if it is something like smaller like conversation English. Come on, it is gonna be fine. Life is easy. Smile and tell yourself, if not today, you are gonna make it tomorrow. If not tomorrow, you are gonna make it in a week. It is fine. You will get there. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it.